Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Today I am going to do some more coloring on my beautiful book, but instead of alcohol markers or color pencils or any type of paint, I'm going to be using this box of washi tape I just got. So the page I chose to try to do this today is this one with the bunnies because it's kind of one of my favorite pages from the book, and I really wanted to see how it turned out with this much texture and pattern. This is not an original idea of mine. I met a friend through Instagram through the coloring community. Her name is May. She is on Insta, but she also has a YouTube channel, and she's the expert on this. She's so good at it. It's so amazing to look at her work. And getting this footage, I just realized she has a really great washi tape shop. I'll link all of her info on the description. Anyhow, I'm going to start with the background, so I thought I would use the blues from the box of washi tape. The blues are mixed with a bunch of teals. I'm going to mix them with some purples also because the scene has cute bunnies creating a night sky. This is the color combination that I chose. I'm just arranging it in a way that seems more pleasing to me, and I'm going to start putting it in the background now. I'm going to protect the next page by using this very thick cardstock because I don't want to cut through all my book. And here goes nothing. First piece of tape on, and let's see how it turns out. I'm going to start by cutting the parts that don't need to be covered with my X-Acto knife. It's not as easy as it looked, let me tell you that. And as I start pulling the tape, I noticed my first mistake. I cut the tape too far apart from the line, but I think that one's okay because I can fix that with a black pen just by filling in the white space. Then I removed another part of the tape, and when I did that, I tore some of the tape off. So I have to do it again, and the tape really stuck to the paper and tore it out when I took it off. It destroyed it, which was actually a good mistake to happen this early on and on this part of the drawing with little lines, because then I remember, or notice rather, that I'm going to have to stick the tape on my arm or something to get rid of some of the stickiness before putting it on the page. So I fixed a bit of lines that the tape tore and was ready to try it again. But first, I thought I should change the blade from my X-Acto knife. I don't know if you can see, but the point was really dull, so it needed replacing. Okay, ready. Back with the tape, which like I said, I'm going to tape on my arm first to make a little bit less sticky. Ready to put down, and the good thing about this is I can move it a bit if I miss the spot. Then again, going in with the knife to cut around, and I'm trying in a small part, and yeah, that was perfect. It was a better cut. I just have to fill in a tiny bit, and I'm happy with that. Cut the bottom too, and my first stripe is good. So now I'm going to start filling the rest of this side of the background to see how that goes. I want to cut more than one color at a time. Again, taping each piece of tape onto my arm first before putting it down on the paper. The reason I am going to do a couple of strips together before cutting is because I think it's going to make the straight cut that connects the background, the floor, seem like one cut, nice and straight. I don't know if that made sense. So I take the pieces of tape out, and I'm loving how it looks. But I quickly realized I cut through the paper without even noticing now that I have a fresh blade on. This thing is sharp. To fix that, I'm just gonna put some packing tape in the back of the page so it doesn't fall apart, and yeah, that's perfect. I was really happy with that first result. I just corrected little things by taking small pieces of tape out and filling in the tiny gaps with my black pen. Now I'm just going to go for the whole background and cover it all with washi tape using the different color of tapes and placing all of the strips on. Once everything is covered, I try to start to cut around the shapes and remove the tape, and this is a very satisfying thing to do actually. Uncovering the drawing and seeing it get magically colored, I guess. The only part that was a little confusing was the lather. I really needed to concentrate on this part to pull out the right bits of tape. This part was really hard, but even with that, I immediately found this process super enjoyable. Such a good option to coloring. Yes, I am loving everything that has to do with coloring. As soon as I started my one color series, I was hooked, and now coloring in my book, I'm addicted. It's all that I want to do. I've been coloring so much, you have no idea how much I enjoy it to decompress. What I'm sharing on Instagram is a tiny fraction of what I actually color because I decided this is my relaxing hobby that I can do at any time, mostly at night, and I won't record to keep it relaxing. It is my personal hobby that I'm invested in, and guess what? I found coloring lessons with alcohol markers on Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives like you and me. They offer thousands of classes across many different creative categories like art, illustration, crafts, DIY, marketing, business, photography, and that's just a few. They are constantly adding new class categories. The classes are led by industry professionals. And a thing I really like is that Skillshare has learning paths, which are curated collections of classes that easily guide you through what you need to learn and in what order you need to see those classes to master a new skill. Like I was saying, since now coloring is my hobby, I was super excited to find so many alcohol marker classes. This is my favorite medium for coloring, but one that I'm in the process of learning. So I really like this class by Carla Alcázar, which I found super useful as it took me through the basics of alcohol markers, and I found it to be very helpful. So if, like me, you love picking up new hobbies or skills, you can get started right now because the first 500 people to use the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this, and let's get back to coloring. To finish the background, I had to cut out the moon and the stars. I was worried about cutting around the tiny pieces of tape that hold the stars, but it was okay. Of course, not perfect. I'm not that detail-oriented or patient. But it looked good regardless, so I was happy. Background done, and I love it. It's so different and cool. I ran my hand through the background in a proud moment to move on to the next step, and I was like, wait. Where did that red come from? How did I stain the page? I was looking around to see what supply could have stained it, and then I realized I cut myself. I didn't even realize it didn't hurt. The blade is so sharp, I probably barely touched it, and that's why I didn't feel it. And now I have blood on my page. The tape was easy to clean, but of course the bunny would need to be covered to fix that. My baby, she was really intrigued by the process, and I guess the smell now that I cut myself. She started biting my hand away and trying to move me, so I thought it was a good time to take a break. And after that break, I'm back with a band-aid on and was ready to move on to the bottom of the page. First, I thought it would be a good idea to do the bucket of paint because it had tiny details, so I would try to do it backwards this time. With the background, I did the largest area first and left the stars for later. Now, with the floor, I'm going to do the tiny detail from the paint and then do the larger area. The paint bucket looked good, even though all the curvy small lines made it very hard to cut. Just needed a few adjustments by filling in the white spaces with my pen. After that, I chose a purple tape for the floor, which I thought tied in nicely with the wall color scheme. I really didn't love the options I had for yellow. They were mostly orangey, like toasted yellow, not like true bright yellow, and the patterns were not my favorite, but I still thought they would look good on the background. So carrying on, I was going to do the moon first, and when I was about to put the tape down, I noticed I made yet another mistake. I didn't cut the tape right because I cut it from the inside, covering the black outline. So I had to go in and take that tiny piece out, and this was a more precise cut, which I don't have the skills for, I guess. So I ripped some of the paper off. So yeah, one more thing I need to fix. The process has been so nice so far, I'm not really concerned. No artistic tantrum, just casually adding one more thing to the things I need to fix and loving that I'm learning as I go, actually. So I chose the yellow striped washi for the stars, but when I put it on top immediately, I didn't like it. So I decided to use that tape on the box and thought that was a nice fit. It's a striped box and it looks kind of nice, right? Nice. And again, these are more small drawings that were hard to cut, so more mistakes. The tiny angles, but again, an easy fix with my black pen. Now that all of the yellow parts were done, moon, all of the stars, and I also covered the ladder, I was going to do the bunnies. For a minute, I thought it would be too weird to cover them with patterns, so I did think about not using washi tape on them, but coloring them with alcohol markers. I mean, the page was looking great, so guess what I thought? Guess. Of course I thought, what if I ruin it? But then I reminded myself, even though this book is so precious to me because I illustrated it, at the end of the day, it's still just paper. And making mistakes is the best way of learning what will work best. So I grabbed the only pink washi tape I liked for this and went for it. And actually, when I finished the first bunny, I thought it looked nice. Yay! I think it looks like an antique fabric toy bunny, if that makes sense. Of course, I also covered their little overalls, and I thought using green and teal on them really made them pop against the background. To finish the page, I used a black paint marker to go over all of the edges that I messed up, which were a lot, fixing the line work. I also used the paint marker to draw the eyes back on the bunnies because 1, I wasn't going to even try to cut the tape around them, and 2, because the paint marker has no problem with writing on top of the washi tape, and I know once it dries it won't smudge. And here's my first washi coloring page, and I'm obsessed with it. I really, really love the result. I think it's so cute and so different to anything I could do with any coloring medium because of all of the textures, which makes it very unique. Of course, I'm going to show you the aftermath of doing this because I did waste a lot of my washi tape. And, I always make a mess, which I like to show to you because I don't want you to be fooled by the neatness you saw on the video. This was a messy video. A bunch of wasted tape, I cut my finger, I damaged the nail polish from some of my nails, but I'm still so happy about the result. I really, really like how it turned out. Let me know what you think about this page and if you like it, because I have a lot of washi tape left. So if you did, I can use them on more pages. Okay, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that I'll see you next Friday. Have the most wonderful day. Bye!